When these two guys in the Supreme Court start bringing up 100-year-old zombie laws while talking about abortion pills, it's not great. We interrupt my coverage of the States Against Humanity March Madness tournament to talk about some oral arguments that were had in the Supreme Court today. Thank you to Democracy Forward for the resources and the rage that I now feel for all of you to have too. Okay, so this is all about the drug Mifepristone, which was approved by the FDA in 2000. Do you know who was president in 2000? This guy. And like a year later, this guy. It's been a minute. But after Roe v. Wade was overturned and states started banning abortions outright, people were like, I got you. Here's some Mifepristone. But the Alliance for Hippocratic Medicine, which is a totally made up group, I'm not kidding, they were created entirely for this case. It says they're based in Texas, but they have no members in Texas and their mailing address is in Tennessee. Also, this is an organization that dislikes LGBTQ groups. I want to leave you with this logo for a minute and let you think about that. Anyway, so they filed suit against the FDA so they can try to pull Mifepristone. And they did it in the state of Texas because they wanted to get this judge, Judge Matthew Kacsmaryk. I could be saying that wrong and it's fine with me. But where have I seen him before? Oh, on the Federalist Society's webpage? Oh, the same organization that Leonard Leo used to get a supermajority of far-right conservative justices on the Supreme Court. That same society, he's on their webpage. But somehow it gets worse. Alliance Defending Freedom is representing AHM, the Alliance for Hippocratic Medicine. They're literally labeled a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. And guess who their head counsel is? Aaron Hawley. Do you know who Aaron Hawley is? This guy's husband. Wife. Who's to say? Anyway, this guy who pretends to live in Missouri and is their senator, but actually lives in like Northern Virginia. It's all connected. So this group was created like several weeks after Roe v. Wade was overturned because they're like, how do we make sure every single loophole is covered? No abortions in this country. I know. Let's take away this drug that's been on the market since 2000. Like that's our only purpose here is to do that. Very transparently. Justices Kagan and Sotomayor are like, why are we here? Because they're not fooled. They're like, how has this harmed you in any way? Why are you here? Meanwhile, Justice Thomas is like, okay, so maybe it doesn't impact you specifically, but who could it impact? I'm listening. And then when that argument maybe wasn't strong enough, he's like, hey, have you ever heard about something called the Comstock Law, named after this guy who was like all about upholding Christian morality and didn't like anything with like fun or joy. He was the U.S. Postal Inspector. In 1873, he passed a series of law that prohibited the mailing of lewd and obscene materials through mail. This included also any type of literature or instrument that could be used in abortions. But guess what? This law from 1873 was found unconstitutional in 1983. But for some reason, Justice Alito and Justice Thomas are like, tell us more about those Comstock laws. I know that the courts and the Department of Justice and Congress have all declared it an outdated and zombie law, but maybe we could resurrect it to prevent abortions. And that is my summary of the oral arguments today. I will link additional resources in my Twitter thread. Also, a lot of you ask, what can you do while the Supreme Court is preparing their decision on this case? The Supreme Court actually has been influenced by public opinion quite a few times. So if you can get as outraged as I am about this, if you can share this on social media, if you can contact your lawmaker, it can have a pretty big impact. Also, stop electing people like this. Thank you.